Professor Gadget is in the room. Jim George from American Cable Services plays the role of Professor Gadget. Not only here, but worldwide. From the shores of Las Vegas. I know there are no shores there yet, but one day there will be. To the shores of Ocala. Again, I know there are no shores here yet, but there will be.
Yes.
When global warming starts raising the ocean levels, California will cease to exist, and Las Vegas will be a beachside town. So will Ocala.
Yes, it will.
Go on, Jim. How you doing?
Morning. If Hoover Dam were to break, I think you would have a nice waterfront property in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah, definitely would. Gosh, there's so many things in the news. Did you hear us happen to talk to the Intel guy this morning about the transistors?
I didn't hear the whole thing. I caught it kind of like in the late.
Man, I just had no idea that transistors were so tiny. You can't even see them.
Oh, yeah. They used to be as big as your thumb, nail, and then as big as your little pinky nail.
Just unbelievable.
And now they're literally microscopic. You can get like 10,000 transistors on one thing the size of your thumbnail.
Oh, million? He said million.
Yeah,
he used the word millions.
Yeah.
I said, you know, I don't even know what a transistor is, and he said it's basically a switch. It's an on and off switch.
Yeah,
It still doesn't help me know what it is. But.
Well, just imagine a switch is not only open or close, but think of it like a gate. So they have an and an or a nor gate. So if this opens, then that opens, and if this doesn't open, then this. So it's an and this and that,
okay.
or that. Or none of the above. So there's different states. We think of it as on and off, but there's really different states. If this happens, do this, and if that happens, do that. So like if you had a transistor that would be a governor on your car to monitor the speed you went. If you went above, let's say 60 in a 55 zone,
right,
it would automatically slow your car back down to 55.
Which I guess is what we've got out there now, right?
Well, the truckers have those, yeah.
The governors, right?
Yeah, the governors, yeah.
You know what truck line I think has it? The one that's called, Swift or something like that?
Okay.
Because I always notice they go exactly the speed limit when you're traveling down the road.
Yeah, they just set it, and away they go.
Anyway, listen to this technology. Now,
Right.
I don't know if you're up on this one. Are you ready for this one?
Okay.
Smart diapers.
Oh, boy.
Ooh, what are those?
Smart diapers
Replacing parents.
helps parents analyze the chemical content of their baby's output. Can you imagine that? Oh, you got too much.
I don't want to analyze
too much niacin in there. You're gonna have to do that. Or not enough niacin in there.
No, smart diapers, man.
Isn't that amazing? When I first read
That's
smart diapers, I thought it was going to give you an alert on the phone. Hey, it's time to change the baby.
Yeah, that would be a
Yeah.
smart.
That's what I thought, but
Yeah.
it's not that. It's the chemical makeup of the
Yeah,
number one and number two.
I understand.
Isn't that amazing?
There must be some kind of chemical in the diaper itself, and then that might cause a rash or irritation to the baby. Their skin might be sensitive to that.
Interesting, isn't it?
is.
I think that's wrong.
Technology.
You think it's wrong?
I do.
Why?
I do.
Stop a baby from having a rash. What about an old man in a nursing home? He'll need that too.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Smart depends.
Ding, 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 ding. Time to change.
Can you imagine the first guy in the nursing home? I got smart undies. What?
What? Yeah.
Yeah, you want to see?
I had a joke about that. I don't know if I can tell it on the air.
Yes, you can.
Oh,
I'm looking for a woman with smart panties. Well, I got smart panties.
There you go.
Well, I spent most yesterday with the manufacturer of fuel cells.
Oh, really?
Fuel cells are the replacement for electricity. So what happens is the fuel cell is so quiet that they actually have them in cars right now. Mm-hmm. And you can run something like 1,000 miles on 1 gallon of LP gas.
Wow.
And LP gas is very inexpensive. It's like propane. Mm-hmm. Liquid propane, you might say, right? But it's so quiet that they're actually creating a noise maker for your trucks and for your car, so you can tell it's on.
Oh, wow.
Good idea.
That's when it sits there, it's so quiet.
Uh-huh.
So it's like the Tesla in the sense that it has a different type of engine in it, or you can run your own internal combustion engine off of a fuel cell. So like in our case where we bought an $18,000 generator, so I have a backup for our building.
Right.
I could have bought a $10,000 fuel cell. So what's a fuel cell? What it does is It has a
How big is it?
Well, it's very small, enough to run a 350 unit RV park. We have 350 different mobile homes, let's say, in them.
Wow.
Would be 4 foot by 4 foot by 6 foot.
Wow.
So very small, like a generator. But what it does, if you have it powering, like I'm bidding a $1.2 million Walmart superstore in Winter Haven, and I won the fire alarm system, so I'll be doing that. But I'm going to try and convince them to put a fuel cell. So what it does is it gives off hydrogen as a byproduct. It gives off oxygen as a byproduct. Same as the other guy said on the radio the other day. The Navy guy was saying the Navy has this machine that
with
takes
the salt water.
right?
Yeah.
Only this does it with liquid propane.
You sent me a video on that, by the way. It's just amazing.
Unbelievable. So anyway, it's fairly inexpensive, and the government, or in this case OEU, would buy back your excess power. So they're going to spend $500,000 to put in this 4 foot by 4 foot by 6 foot generator, for lack of a better term, this fuel cell, and they will sell back $10,000 a month to OEU, plus power their entire park free.
Oh, my.
So if you think about it, that's $120,000 a month. I mean, a year.
Right.
They're getting back.
Right.
So in literally 3.5, 4 years, it's paid for itself. It's guaranteed for 6 years. And the only way, and there's no maintenance, except once every 6 months you take the filters out and you wash them down with the water hose and put them back in.
Oh my gosh, how fascinating is this?
And I asked the guy, "Do you have them for homes?" He says, "Yeah." I said, "Man, you got to quote me one for a home, because what I like to do is put one in my own home. I'll have free electricity. I'll sell power back to the power company.
Right.
I can keep it for about a year and then respond back to the populace listening and say, okay, it not only does it work with clean energy, but I have people coming to my house to collect the hydrogen, medical people collecting the oxygen, and it gives off the purest water in the world because it's making water from LP natural gas."
Wow.
So I have a question about the whole water thing. I had this question for the guy the other day, but I kind of waited for you to be here so I could ask you. I know we have a lot of water on the planet, but if we started using water for fuel, would the water start to go away? I mean, I know we have a lot of it, but would we? I mean, there's only a finite amount of water.
Well, let me tell you this. There's so much water that runs out of the Nile into the ocean. There's so much fresh water that comes down the Nile that enters the ocean in one day. That's more drinking water than the whole world uses in 1 year.
Gosh,
The problem is not that God didn't provide. The problem is logistics. How do you get that clean drinking water from the Nile?
Is the Nile clean?
Yes.
I always thought it was dirty.
Comes out of the, remember the falls when the two guys, not Lewis and Clark, maybe it was Lewis Clark was USA. Dr. Robinson, I presume, Livingston, I presume.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
they found the headwaters of the Nile, which was Victoria Falls, I believe.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
that's pure drinking water. That comes down and
It's like Silver Springs is pure drinking water.
yeah,
That's what they say.
but there's so much water that comes down that Amazon River that then everybody in the world uses
Nile, you mean Nile
in 1
River.
year.
Wow, isn't that
Unbelievable.
amazing? Gosh.
Wow, time flies.
Yeah, so God's provided for everything. It's just we got to go find it.
But why did he have to
Exactly.
put piranhas? I don't understand why he had to put. I mean, you got this nice water and you got piranhas.
Yeah, well,
It's always
the
something.
Amazon.
There's a rose and there's a thorn.
Exactly.
It's good and evil everywhere.
yeah, well, mosquitoes. Yeah.
Yeah. And there you
Keep
go.
things in perspective.
Yeah.
Well, how come you never see poop, by the way, from a little lizard? There's all these little lizards. There's no little lizard poop. You ever notice that?
Well, if you have them in a terrarium, you'll see the little lizard poop.
I never had one in a
Problem is
they climb out if I
They
put-
move over a leaf and poop, put the leaf back.
Right, exactly.
We'll be right back. We're talking technology, believe it or not, with Professor Gadget.
Smart pants.
We'll be right back.
Smarty pants.
The weather's brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A shower or thunderstorm from late morning on. Otherwise, clouds and some sunny breaks. High 79 to 84. Mainly cloudy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm in the evening. Low 65 to 69. Clouds and sunshine tomorrow with a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon. High 82 to 86. Mostly cloudy on Sunday with some heavy thunderstorms around later in the day. High 85 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Steve Travis.
The Ocala Rotary Silver Anniversary Golf Scramble is at the Ocala Golf Club Friday, May 1st. Registration and lunch at 11:30 with a shotgun start at 1:30. Prizes include a Toyota for hole in one, closest to the pin, longest drive, par 3 poker, raffle, and every player receives a complimentary round of golf. Funds raised will support the Discovery Center and Rotary Foundation. Only $85 per player. For more information, contact Kay at 732-7080.
The weather's brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A shower or thunderstorm from late morning on. Otherwise, clouds and some sunny breaks. High 79 to 84. Mainly cloudy tonight with a shower or thunderstorm in the evening. Low 65 to 69. Clouds and sunshine tomorrow with a shower or thunderstorm in the afternoon. High 82 to 86. Mostly cloudy on Sunday with some heavy thunderstorms around later in the day. High 85 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Steve Travis.
Legally Yours, brought to you by Fuller & Fuller Attorneys at Law. On the air every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. with John Fuller, a board-certified civil trial lawyer for over 25 years. John welcomes your questions, from business to complex family matters to legal disputes. So tune in every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. for Legally Yours with John Fuller, right here on WOCA 1370 a.m. and 96.3 FM, The Source.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Skip ice cream and have gelato. Yeah, it tastes rich because it's denser than ice cream. Gelato, you should know, has half the fat of most ice creams because it's made with milk, not cream. Go ahead and order the pad thai. Just stick it in the fridge. Eat the cold leftovers the next day. You want the resistant starch. Punctuality is one of the most difficult behaviors to change since it's deeply rooted in a person's personality.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Hey, I'm Gary. And I'm Eric. Did you know that Red Eye Radio is on WOCA The Source every night from 2 to 6 a.m. and it's live?
That's right. No tape shows here.
We know that the news doesn't sleep.
And neither do we. So we're here with you live from 2 till 6 a.m. every weekday. Call us 866-90-RED-EYE. So join me, Gary McNamara.
And me, Eric Harley, every weeknight to discuss the latest in news and entertainment.
Right here on WOCA The Source.
All right, 18 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're returning now to Jim George, Professor Gadget, the owner of American Cable Services, the show that started in the beginning with talking about cable TV, cable providers, a la carte services, et cetera, et cetera. Now it's expanded to pretty much technological stuff in general. And Jim George is here.
And I said at the break I had a joke to tell.
You do have a joke, yes.
All right,
let's hear it.
I went to give blood the other day, and there was a guy 89 years old next to me. And here I think I'm old because I'm 70, you know. And the lady asked him, you know, what are you going to be doing next? And he says, I'm going to go get some breakfast, and then I'm going to go Zumba. You know, I guess that's some kind of exercise where you dance. And he's thin as a rail, and he's 89 years old.
Oh, wow.
And then he told her the joke, which I overheard. He said, let's see how to phrase this. He says, the husband's in his lazy boy chair. And of course, you had something about lazy boy chairs the other day on the radio where people said, don't throw the lazy boy chair away, and men like their lazy boy.
Right,
anyway, he's in the lazy boy's chair, and he's there for several hours watching sports. And then on comes a commercial about a nursing home. And he turns to his wife and he says, if I ever become comatose, do me a favor and pull the plug. So she walks over and unplugs the TV.
Oh, that's funny.
Because that's what happens. They sit in those chairs all day long and watch TV.
They are comatose.
Yeah, I become comatose. And I don't understand. I know I'm not my wife says if I had 3 boys instead of 3 girls, I would be different. But I don't think I've ever watched a sports event in my life.
Mm-hmm. Really?
I might turn across baseball being on or football being on,
right.
But I've never gone to one of those large screen places or any kind of bar that shows sports. I think sports is just really a waste of time. I could be reading a great book. Mm-hmm. I could be talking to a great person. Instead, I'm sitting in this dumb chair watching other people exercise and play a game that, you know, maybe I would like to play myself, you know, so no.
Well, I don't either watch sports, but I mean, if I'm playing music, isn't that just as much of a waste of time as playing sport? You know what I mean? Or if I'm watching music, I should say. Or if I'm
I don't know how you watch music.
Like a concert or something.
Oh, a concert, yeah.
You watch a concert.
Well, everybody needs a little entertainment, but we have people that have 2 and 3 TV sets on at the same time. They're watching 2 games,
right.
Or they're flipping back and forth between this channel and that channel to watch this basketball game or that basketball game. I mean, I realize that's their life, and I don't argue with that life. I just say it's not for me.
Not for you.
Not for me.
You have a phone call there. That's for you. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Yes.
Say, DirecTV offers what they call game day NFL football. You can get all the football games everywhere in the country for a certain fee. Do you know of any way other than through DirecTV to get that service?
Well, it's everything that happens at one place eventually finds its way to another place. Like they had the NFL. The NFL ticket was something that only DirecTV had. Now right. Comcast, Cox, they all have NFL ticket. What's happened is they're an innovator of it. They probably went to the promoters and said, here's what I want to do. And they said, okay, we'll give you this exclusive for X number of years. Maybe it's 2 years or whatever. After that, you'll find everybody will have it. But if you're asking who has it today, I would say you're limited to, in fact, DirecTV.
Okay, but like you're saying, though, in the future, it'll be available through possibly something that you would offer.
Right. So are you going to sit in that lazy boy chair then and watch all-day games?
No. We're from Wisconsin. My wife's a Packer fan, and one of the deals coming to Florida was that she could have DirecTV down here, so she wouldn't miss a Packer game.
Oh, I see.
But we have to buy that whole system, and you always talk about all the channels that you don't need and don't use, and I was just hoping someday that we could just get the NFL and then a couple other stations without getting that whole stupid package.
Yes. Well, you could buy one channel like the NFL, or you could buy what's called a sports package, where you'd have the national basketball, the national baseball, the national soccer, the national ping pong, one whole package of, like, let's say 27 different sports channels.
Okay, well, what if you just wanted the football? The only way right now.
Right, you could just buy NFL ticket. Yes, you could buy that.
Yeah, well, hopefully someday that'll change, and then we can go to your system and just get the stations that we want.
Exactly. And we've actually gotten a lot closer. I'll be in Chicago May 5th, 6th, and 7th, and I'll be signing the contract for not only the over-the-top channels we have, and not only the foreign channels we have, but the conventional channels, CNN, ESPN. I will have those under lock and key after the 9th of May.
Okay, sounds very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then you'll be able to offer your services then after May 9th? People will be able to get your services in your home then?
Yes. What will happen then is not only would we have the foreign channels and the over-the-top channels, like the pet channels and the sewing channels and all that kind of stuff, but we'd have ESPN, CNN, Disney, HBO, Showtime, all of them.
By the way, the phone line is open, and this morning it wasn't because the computer was working, but the monitor wasn't, so I couldn't tell when a phone call was coming in. Dan has since fixed that, and you probably since you just heard Hugh on the line, if you tried to get in and didn't get in, it wasn't me ignoring you. I just couldn't tell until now. So Jim is here. If you want to call him, 622-9622. You do have another call. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim George.
Good morning. I'm hoping you can help me. I live out near the college, and I have internet, and I use that internet on my smart TV. It's 10 meg, and what happens is every single night it stops and has to constantly reload. And I've been calling the carrier, and they tell me the internet speed is fine. It's my TV.
Okay, it just might be your TV, but there's many different ways of checking. So, do you have a computer also hooked up to that internet?
I do, and last night we ran speeds on it, and it pinged at 41. The download speed is right at 10, but the upload speed is only 0.71.
Yeah.
And they tell me that's a non-issue.
It is. It is a non-issue. Yes. What you're concerned about is how much speed coming into you. That's what you're playing. You're playing a movie. So you need the incoming speed. The outgoing speed is what you would send to somebody else. And you're not sending to anybody else.
Now the modem is only a foot from the TV, and do I run a cable to it instead of trying the Wi-Fi? Would that make any difference?
Yes. Take the Wi-Fi and definitely run a cable. Definitely run a cable.
And so I just run an Ethernet cable from the TV to the modem.
That's it.
Is 10 meg fast enough?
It is. 10 meg is very
Hulu and
fast.
Netflix?
Yeah. What happens is a lot of times, even though you have a smart TV, it's not smart enough. In other words, it's really meant to have a box before it. The box would condition the video. It would segment it so your TV could receive it. But when you're surfing the internet type of thing and you're displaying it on your TV, there's not enough, we call it like RAM, or there's not enough bandwidth in that. It's not smart enough to give you smooth flowing video. So, but you could get yourself. Go ahead.
I use it to stream Hulu and Netflix. And the two of them are just constantly stopping and reloading. And so they tell me, well, you need to get with Samsung. It's a Samsung Smart TV. It's not even a year old. And they say, oh, no, it's a Smart TV. It's not us.
Yeah, they would be right. So what you want to do is you could put an intermediate box between, like a Roku-type box. Something like that, something that buffers it for you. In other words, the way videos work, they send you so much and stop. They send you so much and stop. And so what happens is your TV set's catching it in between that stop period and then requesting more, and then they send it. The Roku-type box, not just Roku, just any of those smart boxes, they would be constantly requesting. And so you'd have.
Where do I get a box like this at?
Sears, any place sells them. Walmart, as a matter of fact, go into Best Buy and let them teach you. They will actually sit down with you and explain how it works.
So do I still run that hardwired?
I would still run the hard wire right now to see if that fixes anything. But if it doesn't, you just need an intermediate box. Like even the reason why we have an app. We could give you an app right now, and you could watch any one of 30, 40, 50 channels that we're streaming. But it would start breaking up on you.
From you? Well,
we're not quite ready yet. We'll be ready to launch shortly. Like I said, we're just now signing our conventional channels. We have the over-the-top channels. By August, at the latest, we would probably have 10,000 boxes out there. And then if a person wanted to have a box from us, they could. And that would be free-flowing. And the difference between us is we're live TV, and Netflix and those kind of things are what they call canned TV. In other words, something that's already happened, and they're giving it to you after the fact.
Correct. Is there any way I can get just the internet from you people?
No, we don't do the internet. We let other people supply the internet. But now you could call OEU, Ocala Electric Utilities, and request.
I've already talked with Arnie, and Arnie says that they can't give it to residential. Council stopped that.
Well, it's coming.
I would love to have it from.
Yeah, it's coming back around. It may not happen in our lifetime. No, it may not happen right this minute. But I'm going to be speaking before the idea is the city has a wonderful asset and they need to use it. What they're afraid of is Cox Cable and Bright House and all those people will complain so much. Why are you in competition with us? You charge us a franchise fee. You ask us to come in. We put millions of dollars on the polls. We pay our taxes, and then you compete with us. And but so that's why the city doesn't advertise. But now they're trying to stop Arnie from even hooking people up. So I think we can change that.
I hope so, brother. All right.
Thank you
very much.
You're welcome.
All right, bye-bye.
All right. Real quick, I just want to interject something. When Robin and Ronnie were having trouble, the cable guy put a bigger cable. Would that help him?
No, that was probably just to watch the TV in general. In other words, you had a low loss. You had a lot of loss.
Yeah.
And the modem needs a certain amount of signal. So the answer, it could. It really depends how far he is away. One of my partners lives down in Summerfield, and they ran him a cable that was about as large as your thumb to the house, and it fixed his problem. They gave him a larger cable.
Wow, that's
less
huge.
loss. And they put an amplifier in his house.
Wow.
Because he was like 500 feet away from the last tap.
Wow, that's a couple of good calls today. So what is your phone number, Jim, before we run out of time?
Certainly, 854-9795.
All right, we're done with Professor Gadget.
Thank you.
Go get some smart diapers.
Smarty pants.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News Radio, I'm Pat O'Neill. In Phoenix, 3 men and 2 women dead in an apparent murder-suicide.
The men were brothers, and the dead women apparently were the men's mother and a spouse of one of the brothers. Sergeant Trent Crump is with the Phoenix Police.
The fleeing witnesses indicated that the brothers were in a dispute over a family business.
2 other women and 2 kids got out unharmed.
Fox Radio's Tanya J. Powers. A 3-judge panel in New Orleans hears arguments today on whether to lift a temporary hold on President Obama's action to shield millions of immigrants from deportation. A rude awakening for a man on a Southwest Airlines flight from Chicago to New Hampshire. When Lenny Mordarski dozed off before takeoff and brushed the woman next to him, she flew into a rage and tried to stab him with a pen.
Did it hurt? Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, imagine being asleep and then being stung by bees and waking up and going, ow.
The woman escorted off the plane. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Superstorms, road closures, flooding, airports snowed in. If you travel for work like I do, news like that can ruin your whole day. It did mine until I discovered Citrix GoToMeeting online meeting software. With GoToMeeting, you can meet from anywhere using your computer, tablet, or smartphone. No expensive travel required. And with HD video, you simply turn on your webcam and it's just like being in the same room, which means you can stay productive no matter what the news brings.
Visit GoToMeeting.com and start our free 30-day trial.
I'm a state-of-the-art 60-inch flat-screen TV. And I mean, not to brag or anything, but if a burglar ever breaks into this place, I'm pretty certain I'm the first thing he's going to steal. I mean, it's not like he's going to take that recliner over there. Or that coffee table.
Your stuff can't protect itself. That's why the Geico Insurance Agency helps make it easy to switch and save on renter's insurance. Renter's insurance will cover personal property loss or damage as well as provide liability protection. Visit geico.com today.
All right, it's 28 minutes before 10 o'clock. If you've been listening to WOCA on Saturday mornings and you have heard one of the most delightful advice programs that I think I've ever heard, and the fact is, when I first found out about it, we actually did an interview with Francois Cousinet, and since then, I've been listening to it and become a fan. One of the questions I want to ask him is about money investments, because I always felt like I wasn't rich enough to invest, and I think I've learned something from listening to a show that makes me think otherwise. And he does a show from Beverly Hills out over near Lecanto, which is kind of cool. And he's got the best French accent. I don't know if it's fake or not. I'm not so sure. I'm teasing. I know he's real.
He's most
Francois. Good morning, Francois.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning, Robin.
How are you? You're in Beverly Hills right now.
I certainly am. Beverly Hills is very close to Crystal River.
Yes. I used to go to Beverly Hills when I was a kid. I lived in New York, but I would vacation. And those years, now this was the 60s, there was like 2 or 3 streets, and that was it. And everything else was just sand.
Yeah, I knew you were from around here. You still have the Beverly Hills accent.
I do, yes, I do. Your show is called Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement, and you do it with your son.
Yes, that's correct. I've been doing it for 23 years.
Wow. It is such a delightful show. So for those who have never heard it, it's tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock.
That's correct. We've been doing it every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock for 23 years. And I'm glad to hear that you're a fan, because you're easily pleased.
But here's the funny thing. You do something that made me a fan, and then it got me interested in the other things you were talking about. The thing that sucked me in was your trivia with music.
Yeah, I've been a rock and roll fan ever since I was a very, very young kid. I have a very large collection of vinyls, and I've always loved rock and roll. I love just about any music except for this stuff they have nowadays.
It's kind of funny.
But it's really neat, because it kind of brings a little bit of a different intrigue to the show, I think, and it just helps people revisit, people who are around my age. I'm going to be 59 this year. It enables us to kind of revisit our young days, and enables people to hear some music that they have totally forgotten about.
Yeah, and so tomorrow you said you have some lead guitar parts as trivia?
Actually, no. That will be Saturday next week.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow we're going to talk about how to leave your money to your heirs, but not to Uncle Sam. and what to do and what not to do, specifically from a legal standpoint, the necessary documents that are needed in retirement planning. But we'll also touch on the financial side of it. And, we live in very complicated days. You have couples that divorce, and then you've got, they remarry, and you've got kids left and kids right, and people who split their money and keep it separate. Then there is, unfortunately, there are not enough legal documents that are drafted so that when eventually the last survivor dies, it is well defined who is going to get what, and that's when you start having family feuds, when actually it's totally unnecessary if the right thing is being done.
Right. So be sure to listen tomorrow at 9 a.m. right here on WOCA. And the one thing I wanted to say, because I know we have to run, is that I've always thought money programs like yours were really for somebody who was very wealthy, or at least wealthy, maybe without the word very. And you've come to help me understand that it's for the everyman. I mean, investments can be done by any income level.
Absolutely. And quite unfortunately in my industry, I see way too often where, specifically in big brokerage houses, when they say, if you've got at least $500,000, we'll talk to you.
Right.
I think that is totally against the idea of what our business is about. We help anybody. I don't care how much you have. It's yours. It's important to you. And therefore helping you doing the best with what you have for your future is what we're all about.
All right. Francois, thank you so much. Do I pronounce your last name correctly, first of all? Cousinet?
You said it very well. I've been called a heck of a lot worse.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm a big fan of the show. I'm so proud that you're on WOCA because I love the station. So thank you for doing that, and I'll be listening tomorrow. And everybody else, tune in at 9 a.m. tomorrow. Francois, and remind me of your son's name.
Julien.
Okay, so
Julien, yes, and just
go ahead, Francois.
Just to let you know that it's next week that I'm going to be playing those three, what I think are three of the greatest guitar solos ever.
Oh, okay, and one you gave me already a heads up that it's from a French rock and roll band.
Oh, it was a band from the early 70s that did fantastic music, and I think everybody's going to enjoy it.
Oh, I'm excited to discover a new band, so that'll be cool.
Excellent.
Francois, thank you so much.
You are welcome. You guys have a great weekend, and thank you.
Thank you. We'll hear you tomorrow. We'll take a break and be right back.
Get it for less at the DIY Home Center outlet. Get top quality real wood cabinets the same or less than the big box stores are selling the cheap stuff. And that's not all. Drywall screws big box stores are $6.47 a pound. At DIY, only $4.99. Plus, DIY has the largest selection of mobile home parts and accessories anywhere. From carpet to doors, get the DIY supplies you need for less. The DIY Home Center outlet. We are your building material closeout store. 2191 Northwest 10th Street, just 2 miles east of I-75.
Are you tired of not using your home's outdoor space for entertaining or relaxation because of all the bugs and leaves? Consider adding a beautiful